Order, start with pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Teresa, please take the roll.
Okay, Mayor Jones.
Here.
Horn.
Here.
Kill.
Here.
Bowen.
Yep.
Barons. Mattson.
Yes.
And Jazz.
Yes.
All right, do we have any additions or an approval of the agenda for tonight's meeting?
I make a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Mattson,
Yes.
Bowen,
Yes.
Horn,
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Barons,
Yes.
Jazz,
Yes.
sorry about that. Approval of the minutes from the 11-5 meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the 11-5 meeting.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Jazz,
Yes.
Barons,
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Horn,
Yes.
Bowen,
Yep.
Mattson.
Yes.
All right. Any action on the bills for payment?
Motion to approve bills for payment as submitted.
Second. Any discussion?
Quick question on the refund of municipal tax paid on project of 30, it's like a block tie components thing, what is that?
So a few years ago, the city passed an ordinance that any new business that's building new, or if an existing business is building on, and it has to be a certain dollar amount, we would refund their municipal sales tax. There's an application process, you gotta do it ahead of time. You have to then submit your invoices to the city to verify you paid the sales tax, and then we pay it back. So Black Tie has gone through that process. They're submitting invoices for their new building still. Karen, they submit them to Karen, she verifies them, and basically it was passed as an incentive to entice new businesses to come to Hartford, because you get a break on some of your sales tax for equipment.
Oh, yeah, that's right,
Yes.
I've heard about that, okay.
I asked Karen to put together an accounting of the pickleball courts. You'll see that, I think she printed that, was on your desk. And this is everything, right, Craig?
Yep.
Are we done?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Anything else on the bills? Hearing none, we'll vote. Mattson,
Yes.
Bowen,
Yep.
Horn,
Yes.
Keel, Barons,
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
All right, public comment, any comments that, from the public that's not on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on. First up on the visitors is Don Hammond with Bros Engineering to give us our bridge inspection report. Welcome.
Thank you for seeing me tonight. As you guys know, we're required, the consultants that perform bridge inspections are required by the FHWA through the SDDOT to come share our results with you. Fortunately, there's not a whole lot to share. We inspected your four structures this year, all box culverts, and as you can see from the briefing, there's not much to talk about. The one down at the end of South Main here is really the only one that we even recommend any kind of minor maintenance on, and it's got some rebar exposed. Typically just recommend cleaning that up and painting that just so it doesn't continue to corrode. Or you can, if aesthetics were an issue, we recommend patching, make it look better or whatever, but you're sitting in great shape. That's pretty much the long and the short of it. Do you guys have any questions for me?
I heard you mention earlier you love box culverts, so
Yeah, that's
we'll
kind of my
remember
favorite.
that whenever we're,
Yeah, you can get 100 years out. Typically, we design for a 75-year design life is kind of what our specs are for, but box culverts, you'd be disappointed if you didn't get 100 years out of them, honestly. Good empirical data out there on structures of that type, so.
well, I recall that one we put down in Mickelson was rather expensive. We better get 100 years out of it.
That's a big box.
All right, any questions for Don?
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
the opportunity to do this for you guys again. We appreciate that.
Megan, yeah, give me a call if you have any questions.
All right, next up, we got Mr. B.J. Olson here to discuss billboard rental on his billboard.
Yeah, so as you guys know, Unity Road and the Hartford connection are closed. We were gonna make it to the 6th, but we sold out of all of our inventory, so we are officially closed. But we do have the rental of the billboard out by the interstate, I believe, for another 2 years. The entities themselves will be dissolving. They were S corp, so they will be dissolving. I know we prepaid 1 year, but there is still 2 years outstanding on that billboard rental. So I just wanted to see if there was anything that could be done for that, since we won't be utilizing it when the business will be dissolved.
I had asked Teresa, she said in her notes that we have done this a couple other times, and it's really at our discretion, correct?
Correct. The actual lease doesn't have anything in it for early termination, but the city council at your discretion, if you want to, work out something with them, terminate it early. The two, we have done this twice before, like Arden said, the two we have done, one was in 2013 for Hartford Building Center, and then 2022, American came to us and wanted out of their lease. Basically, for both those instances, whatever was left for payment, the city council and the owner split it in half. So I kind of figured what's left on Unity Road is $2,000. If you go to the term of the lease, you know, if you wanna go 1,000 or like I said, whatever you wanna negotiate, that is up to the council. You can do it by motion to change the agreement.
Do we have anyone waiting for a spot up there?
Yeah, for those coming that way or how he faces, I do have a couple people that, when something comes available, to give them a call, but you know, I got a list. Now, whether they're still interested or not, I
Right.
don't know. I mean, I'd have to contact them, you know, it's.
How does that work if we make an agreement with BJ? Are then we able to rent that right away once we make an agreement that basically
Right.
parts
So
ways?
basically, with the last one we did just in 2022, we just basically called it an early termination fee. And
Okay,
they took down the billboard right away, and we were able to re-rent it out, so.
right.
And with those two, they're both still existing, shut down.
Yep. They were just wanted out of their lease for.
Yeah, our plan is to be completely dissolved, all distributions made before the end of the year, so we don't have to do anything tax-wise in 2025.
Yep, I hear you. All right, any actions or recommendations from the council?
I would make a motion to allow the early termination of Hometown Buds DBA Unity Road with the recommended termination fee of $1,000.
Second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Mattson?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Barons?
Yeah.
Jazz?
Yes.
Yes, I'm hung up on-
You miss a meeting and your name just isn't.
Yeah, right. Man, it doesn't flow. All right,
Perfect.
so as they say in an auction, see the clerk and
That'll work, so we'll just come in and pay the full amount.
Yeah.
Forward and-
All right.
Perfect, thank you guys.
Beach, thank you for everything you've done.
You bet. If you guys, ever get anybody else coming into town to do it, need any recommendations, let me know.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, we'll move down to applications, agreements, hearings, resolutions, ordinances. First up, special event permit for 2025 hometown Christmas, and I believe that's why Lisa's here.
Probably 2024, I'm not that far ahead of myself.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Oh, no, geez, every
Boy,
year that seems to
you
be
know,
one
here we go,
that's-
we're gonna start keeping track.
Yeah.
There's one. Oh, man, that's mean. That's really mean.
So not a lot of changes to the previous years, I don't know if you have any questions or.
Seven AM and 9 PM?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like a fun day.
Yeah. So I'll make a motion to approve special event permit for Hartford Hometown Christmas.
Second.
we got multiple seconds. Ooh. Any discussion? I've been watching a lot of Hallmark movies. We should have a Christmas karaoke contest. Just keep that in for next year.
We're taking new committee members. with-
Not me. Man, I should have kept my mouth shut there. All right. No other discussion, we'll vote. Jazz?
Yes.
Barons?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yep.
Mattson? Man, that
Yes.
seat.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Lisa. We'll see you in a couple weeks, or a week and a half, or whenever it is. Barons, yeah, birthday girl. I'll just go with that.
It is.
Today is her birthday.
I'm still mostly working from home.
All right, second on the applications, resolutions and ordinances is 2024-15, resolution to become a South Dakota Retirement System Special Pay Program Unit.
It's mouthful.
You wanna explain this a little
Yeah.
bit?
So basically, the South Dakota retirement system, which the city participates, so all employees are part of that. Employees pay 6%, the city matches it, that goes into basically a retirement for employees. They've come out with a new program, which would be additional to that. It's a 401A, like a 401K. But basically, the requirements for this is that, if an employee qualifies, which means they have to be at least 55 years old or get $600 in special pay. And special pay would be pay that isn't wages. So if they get terminated from the municipality, if they quit the municipality, they retire, it would be basically their vacation pay that they have coming to them or their sick leave pay. If that amount is over $600, it automatically goes into this 401 with the state. Where it's kind of a cost savings for both the employee and the city is that these dollars do not have any Social Security or Medicare tax on them. So it saves the employee that tax, it saves the employer that tax. Ultimately, the city employee, once they withdraw funds, just like any 401K, they're responsible for their federal income taxes. That stays the same, but that's at the time of withdrawal. So this program, to participate and be part of it, is that if we have an employee that qualifies for this, like I said, they gotta be 55 and have $600 of special pay, that money will automatically go into this 401. Now, if the employee does not want it in there, it can go in one day, it can be withdrawn the very next day. You still have that tax savings for that Social Security and that Medicaid. So we're both still, the city and the employee is still having a savings of that doesn't have to be paid back.
And our expense to that is $45 per participant.
Yeah, I said that the only cost to the employer is that when this happens, you don't gotta pay it up front. Is that the city will pay $45. And it's basically an administration fee for a one-time fee of that. Like I said, we did talk about this at the staff meeting with the staff. I mean, we see it as a win-win. I mean, we all get a savings on that tax. So our recommendation is to basically become part of this, to enroll in it. We have to pass this resolution to enroll in it, and then, like I said, once somebody qualifies, it just automatically happens. Karen will work with sending it to the state, and if an employee wants to withdraw it right away, they can withdraw it the very next day, so they're not stuck at a certain time frame with it.
What's being done with it now? It's just being paid out?
Yeah, right now, it would just be paid out on their final paycheck to them, so,
With taxes.
with
taken
taxes
out.
though, yep, so
Right.
basically,
This
this
is
is
just
a tax savings for, like I said, on both ends.
All right,
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2024-15.
Second.
any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Jazz?
Yes.
Barons?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes,
Bowen?
Yep.
Mattson?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
that'll be on again next, that's an ordinance, right?
It's a resolution.
Resolution.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, and we just.
Oh, one time, perfect, okay.
All right, And next we'll move down to reports. First one is the fire department, and the chief comes once a quarter. So I think I must have missed the month he was here.
Yeah, that's probably the month you missed.
I did see them out on Halloween, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes, 800 glow necklaces,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
It's a heck of a raid.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. How are they coming on their trucks, Cindy? Have they said anything to you or not? Do you know? Craig?
I wasn't at the last meeting, so I couldn't tell you.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Isn't
Isn't
it
that?
January?
Yeah, isn't it
Should be coming up here, yeah.
sometime? Yeah,
I know they've advertised the other one for sale, so. I'll be
Okay.
soon.
okay. All right. The next report in our file is from Chamber Director Lynn. Anybody have any questions or comments?
Just a comment that if a member isn't happy with the city of Hartford and they pull out of the chamber, it doesn't really hurt the city of Hartford.
Yeah,
It hurts the fellow chamber
Yeah.
members.
yeah. I did discuss that with her. All right, next up, most exciting time of the evening, city engineer report.
Good evening, everyone. In the general engineering update on the various projects in town, both 1051 Root Trail down in the southwest corner of Western Meadows, as well as the Oakley Street down near the Maple Pass Apartments. Both of those city utilities, water and sewer, have been installed and tested. Every test taken so far has passed. Last one remaining is just a deflection test for the sewer, which requires 30 days between installation and test time just to allow any sort of settlement to occur. That's coming up beginning of December. We'll get that tested, and then those will be good to go. School got those streets repaved finally this last Saturday, so good to see they got that in before the weather turned too much. And then continue to review site plans and plat reviews and plats as they come in. Moving on to project updates, big one on the water resource recovery facility is that final bid pack. So that final bid pack was the connection to the existing sewer system near the current lift station along Railroad. That was bid. Siteworks was the low bidder with a bid amount of $31,985.64. Rice Lake had allocated $80,000 to this bid package, so that difference will be added to the contingency for the overall project. As far as construction goes, most of the work being done is in the operations building. Framing is done, and they just continue to work on electrical and plumbing and mechanical installation within the structure. Moving on to the Highway 38 water main extension, as you've probably seen, there's been quite a bit of work there along Colton Road. So they do have that north bore in under Colton Road from the southwest corner up to the southeast corner to the northwest, pardon me. And they were installing that pipe within the casing today. When they went to prep for the Highway 38 bore, they ran into some cobbles down there by the road. I'll further discuss that in a change order, but they are requesting and have provided a change order for increasing that casing size from 16 inch to 24 inches. And what that allows them to do is actually, if a obstruction is encountered, they can actually send someone down that casing pipe to manually clear it, which despite being a pretty high hourly rate, is much cheaper than abandoning a bore, that's
Halfway through.
halfway through, yep, repositioning and doing all that resetup. So, if there are no questions, we can discuss the change order for the water main project.
All right, let's talk about the change order.
Yep, so the change order is in the amount of $45,584. And as noted, that is for upsizing the casing pipe from the 16-inch noted in the plans to a 24-inch steel casing for the entire extent of the entire crossing of Highway 38. That allows them to clear the obstructions. One thing to note is that the change order as presented is for just the upsizing. If a bore is obstructed in that 24-inch casing, there is downtime charges that have been provided in the site works attachment after that. And that essentially begins once the auger is full. They go and remove it, and then they begin begin. So just a note, if an obstruction is encountered, there may be a subsequent change order just for that downtime. But current change order is just for the upsizing, so.
What happens in the event, so Siteworks was obviously the low bidder on that project, let's say if there was a company that bid it at 100,000, and there was one that bid it at 90,000, so the one at 90 would get it if they're a qualified bidder. Is there ever a time where that qualified low bidder goes above and beyond the second bidder? And assuming that they would run into the same thing, but
Second
how does that
bidder.
work out?
Second bidder would do the same thing, would have change order, so.
Yeah,
You legally went with low bid, so
right.
we did all the specific requirements and stuff.
Original bid, everybody's bidding on the same stuff, so.
There was no way to forecast what they ran into.
No, we had soil borings done for the sewer, for the water rec facility. Cobbles were noted down by Zacharias, but nothing further up. And then the other thing with those is those are really just a spot check to get the general, so you could take those 20 borings that we took and not hit a cobble and, the entire length of the sewer into cobbles, you just got a monkey with the bores, so.
Well, and you don't know there's no way to bore through the road to find out if there's something right there.
DOT went to like this.
Tell you more.
Right, till you bore it.
No.
Really? I mean,
Was it listed, I didn't look back at the bid, was it listed 16-inch on there?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I figured, but.
yeah. And it looks like our downtime rate is $12.92.50 per hour if they have to stop.
So that's interesting because they were late on doing the project, they were kind of putting it off. But they kind of put it off for like a month or a couple months.
Well, they're waiting to do it in tandem with the
Yeah,
sewer project.
no, it's just interesting.
Mhm.
The
We'll still
time,
be under.
Yeah, this is a
Yeah.
late fee in case they run into a rock.
Right,
This has
I get it,
nothing
I
to do
know.
with digging in there.
the
Yeah.
time frame as far as the road being shut down is what got
It's
extended.
taken,
The
right,
project itself isn't due
Yeah.
until like
May
May
15th.
15th
Yeah.
of next year, so.
Yeah,
right.
So they're ahead of schedule yet.
Yeah.
I think what you're thinking about is when they waited to do underneath Mickelson.
Correct.
that's right,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was a different deal.
What's our downtime? What do we charge for our downtime?
50 cents an hour.
Yeah, right.
All right? Any action?
Make a motion to approve change order number 2 to Siteworks for $45,584.
Okay.
Any discussion?
I would just note that this is well under budget at the moment, $170,000 under budget, so.
Still, yeah,
Yeah, good original
At the
bid.
moment,
yeah,
still doing good, so.
yeah. Knock on cobble.
Yep.
All right? Anything else?
Nope, that's all I have, thank you.
All right. Oh, I got a question for you, so we're gonna vote on this first. Jazz,
Yes.
Barrett,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
Horn,
Yes.
Bowen,
Yeah.
Mattson.
Yes.
Did they get grass seed in before it rained?
I'd have to check with Ari,
I don't
but
think
I
they did.
don't think they did.
Would've been really nice if they would've, well, it probably would've washed out, but this would've been a try. Oh, quit shaking your head like you know. Like you're an expert. All right. Thank you, Michael.
My concern with this project is that road is supposed to be closed, right? There's a don't turn, there's no turn. So if you're westbound, there's a don't turn left. If you're eastbound, there's a don't turn right.
Mhm.
The barricades are like in a pile on the side of the
I
road.
noticed that on the way here, yeah. I'll give horizontal a call in the morning and let them know
Yeah,
about the
it's
change.
been like that
Keep the road
for
closed.
a week.
Yeah.
They have, okay,
Yeah, it's not just like, you didn't just catch it
okay.
today.
Well,
It's been like that for a while,
so.
so.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm assuming people are driving down Railroad?
Yeah. It's drivable.
Yeah.
I did need to
We still got
ask-
the barricade though up down by on the other end, right? By
Yeah, that
I
was.
think it was still there.
That was still, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I did need to ask on this, the hydro pack, line item on that, it's got 1 linear foot for 302.50. Did you notice that?
That's if needed, that was a supplement to the obstruction, to clear the obstruction. So if however many feet of
Oh,
obstruction may be cleared, that's that rate.
okay.
Yep.
Okay. So if there's a 3-foot rock,
Or something that they run into
Then
and
it's
just
gonna
hydro
be-
back 3 feet out of it.
then it's gonna be $900 then, right?
I'll drill it and blow it up and blast it.
So when did they give Craig some notice before they have him crawl through there then?
Craig hopefully will be coming in.
Got a bad shoulder.
Got a bad shoulder. I think Jesse usually does that.
Yeah, might be upsize.
Wow.
He's got a better chance than me.
Poor guy. He's not even here to stick up for us.
Wow. Yeah, don't show him this version. Don't show him this page, Craig. All right. Thank you, Michael, again. Public Works Superintendent Craig.
I'm just gonna hit on a couple things quick. That 2007 Sterling, we did get that fixed. It's $750. They found a wire to one of the injectors that had broken, was corroded, so they got that, redid the harness on that part of it. Christmas lights, we'll put those up either later this week or the first part of next week, because down Christmas seems like it's really early this year. Future facility, been working with Danner about reusing our water to help fill the ponds down there. It sounds like that's gonna go well, so. Sports complex, the concession stand, the electrician's been there doing some wiring. He's gonna be there again tomorrow to get some more stuff done. We've got the concrete stoops poured, so them are done. They just got the outside concrete to finish up. We've started on the ceiling in the inside, and hopefully by this week we'll have that done, and then just get the plumber in to finish up his stuff, and we'll be wrapped up. All the doors are on except for the roll-up door for the concession, so.
Okay. Totally different topic. Streetlight at the corner of Mickelson and 38, is that still?
That should be up and on. They said it last week, I think it was.
Okay.
And it's there, it's by the stop sign. I know it's there. I haven't been by at night to see if it's
Okay.
on, but I'm pretty sure it's.
Someone mentioned that it was dark there the other night, and so I don't know exactly, when they talked about it.
Yeah, last week they, put that
Okay.
in, so got it hooked up.
All right.
How often do you, take just, tests on the tap water? Just out of curiosity.
We are required, 4 samples a month.
Okay. And then, do you take those, where do you take those from?
Those go to, into the health lab in Sioux Falls.
Oh, okay, but I mean,
Oh,
do you
we've
just get
got-
them out of the?
I've got we had to do a list with the state, there's 12 sites, that's what there is. And you have to do, for each site has to have a downstream and an upstream side on it too, so if you have bad sample, you have to take samples from the other two. But yeah, so we've got a couple of them that we're working with, one is US Bank. Now, if something doesn't happen there, I'm gonna change that site, cause that's one of my sites, so I'll have to work with Danner to get that one. Luckily, it was, the month that they closed was the month that we had to take a sample or so. If they don't get something going in there between now and the next sample time, then we'll have to redo our sample sites and get that submitted to the state and get approval, so.
Okay, that works. Awesome, I was just curious on that.
Okay. Anything else for Craig?
Quick question on the, I know, was the budget approved for next year for that was it a payloader that you guys are renting? The 20 tons, is that a payloader, is that what
Yeah,
it's called?
payloader is what we're proposing to rent to.
And
That's
the
for
rest
There's
of
budget.
them-
next year?
There's budget money for January for that.
Okay, are we gonna have a discussion on that before that gets released, or
We
typically, is
certainly-
that how that works typically?
We certainly can, usually just get
It's
numbers and that
approved,
stuff,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I was a no to that, but I don't, right now it's probably not the time to talk about it, but,
Craig normally just begs for forgiveness instead of asks for
Yeah.
permission.
Never rented it before.
It's gonna be delivered tomorrow.
yeah, it will be.
It's supposed to snow tomorrow afternoon.
I thought I saw it show up yesterday.
Maybe it's
Yeah,
already.
you're supposed to say it's already on its way.
Now, when we get around it, I'll get numbers from the different ones.
Okay.
Whatever we get, we have to make sure it's compatible with the equipment or push plows and stuff like that.
Oh, so it's like, is it like an attachment?
The payloader will have a quick attach on the front.
Okay.
We wanna make sure that the attachment is compatible with our attachments for like the plow, the pushers and stuff like that, so that when whatever we rent, we can just hook up to our equipment with.
Gotcha.
All right. Anything else?
If not, we'll move forward to Karen's report.
In the packet, nothing to add unless you have questions for me.
What's the downtown committee funds?
That's downtown Hartford.
Oh, that's downtown Hartford, okay.
Yep.
I'd like to make one comment about the bills, for Palms Tire. We did not, it says new tires for payloader, grader, and the skid steer got new tires. The payloader, we took the old tires that we had saved from 10 years ago, and we put them up front on that. And then the payloader itself had, the two back tires were leaking, so we had to pull them off. Actually took all 4 tires down and put a sealant inside them, because otherwise they just got no ring seal. And the atmosphere they're in, they start leaking, and you can't get them to quit leaking. So in the next couple of years, we asked for other tires for payloaders and stuff like that. We didn't get this year, so I didn't explain that to Karen before the bills come out. But yeah, the skid steer's
Just
Oh,
only one's
said
gonna be
tires for.
Yep.
I don't know.
So otherwise, we got one heck of a buy on tires.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Any questions for Karen?
The bill to IDG, and I know that there's a topic about this, but I'm asking about the specific contract in place, so they bill us as they go essentially, and that's, okay.
All right, anything else? All right, thank you, Karen. Teresa?
I give you project updates, just a couple things to point out on my report. The TAP grant, did go before the grant committee and present our project to them last Wednesday. Seemed very receptive. They only had one question, so I don't know if that's good or bad. But laid out our grant to them. They said they will have a decision by January, so we should know by January whether we get that grant for the bike trail along Mickelson or not. Part-time snow removal, we did get 3 applications. We kept it open till Friday, to the 15th. I gave those applications to Craig to give him a call and to look at them. Fortunately, none of them having a CDL, which would have been preferred, so they can run more equipment, but Craig's gonna contact them and follow up and see if we can utilize anybody that applied or not. And then at our next meeting, as you guys know, we will have to implement a second surcharge, so we will have an ordinance of there. It'll have to go through 2 readings, so it'll go through the 2 meetings in December, and it really won't become effective till January anyway. We talked about, do we make it effective January or not? Well, it's gonna take 2 readings anyway, and you gotta publish it for 20 days, so it's not gonna be effective till January anyway. So that will be on the next agenda. We can also, I'd like to discuss a little bit about sending notification out to the citizens, let them know this is coming. I've kind of put together a little sample letter, but we can review that and discuss that to make sure everybody's okay with that, to give them some notice. Besides that, Thursday afternoon and evening, we have a couple meetings coming up. They're public meetings. One's gonna be public input for the study they're doing on Western Avenue that the county's doing. That's gonna be at St. George's Church. And then that evening here in City Hall, we've allowed, the county's updating the comprehensive plan, and we said they can use our facility. I will be here to open it up and shut it down for them. They wanna present that to the public too. It's kind of an open house, people come and go, so it's not a specific program. So if anybody's interested in coming into them and seeing what these studies have come out or get more input, welcome to come. So.
Wednesday and, not next week?
It'll be this Thursday.
Yeah.
Both of them are this Thursday. One's in the afternoon at St. George's. I have the times in there, and then the other one's Thursday evening here. So.
All right, any questions or anything else for Teresa?
Question on the 12th and Oaks project regarding, is it the Danner, what do they get a little bit of a sticky situation with regarding
The city or the HAD?
HAD,
Yeah, I think, it's not the city, so.
What did they,
So basically for their project, their grading project, they had to apply for, is it the storm water permit? Oh, it's for the wetland permit?
Wetlands, yeah.
One of their permits that they had applied for, they had submitted the plans for the project, they had approved them. When they came out, yeah, cause the whole deal is when they came out, basically, it came out that their wetlands were non-jurisdictional, so in their plans, they had that they were going to, you know, fill them in, mitigate them, make detention ponds. Like I said, the state approved that. When they came out, they said, well, since the Army Corps of Engineers said these are non-jurisdictional wetlands, you can't do anything with them until you get approved. And so that's where they got to the situation with the state. They've been going back and forth. They said, well, you've approved the plans. To my knowledge, I don't know, Michael might know a little bit more, but if it's been non-jurisdictional, you've been pretty much able to fill them in or whatnot, but that's not technically the law, so, they're trying to work the state, I don't know where they're at in that process, if they've gotten okay or not, it's been going on for a couple, 3 months now,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, it started in July or August.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's been going on for a little bit.
Sounds like this is kind of the first time this has actually came up in the
Been
state.
enforced, yeah.
Right.
I mean, the law is on there, the books, that if they're non-jurisdictional, then the Corps doesn't have anything to do with them, but then they become waters of the state, so then the state takes
Yeah.
over, and, you know, not supposed to fill them in
Sure.
and whatnot, so, or, you know, do anything with them. Unfortunately, though, the state doesn't really have a program to mitigate them yet, you know, where to buy, you know, credits at a wetland bank or what, they don't got a process to go through, so I think the state's trying to work that out and then seeing where they go from that,
Okay,
last I heard.
sure, okay. Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Nothing under old business, let's move to new business. First up, review approved change order number 5 for Alliance Construction for $3,000. This is to move the ditch north of ATS, correct?
So,
Okay.
after they got everything laid out, we actually went back through and looked at the plans and did all the survey and that stuff, and the ditch got put in according to the way the plans were drawn up. It's awful close to the building's pretty low, that ditch is pretty flat. Heavy rains, it looks like they could end up getting water in the building. We talked about it, if we would've shifted, and the reason why that got pushed where it did to the south was for future sidewalk. We still can get a sidewalk in there, we could make the ditches or the slope off the sidewalk just a little bit steeper and move that ditch about 3 feet to the north to get a little bit further away from their building and hopefully get it more defined so that we can hopefully alleviate any water issues into their building. Can't guarantee it, heavy rain, it still might get there, but I met with the business owners there, they're not happy to where it's at now, but it was built according to plans, just that once it got laid out, it's awful close to the building.
Yeah, I walked by there on Sunday, I guess. Yeah,
It's-
as long as
yeah.
there's room to put a sidewalk in there.
Yeah, there'll still be room, that's why that's why we talked about 3 feet, is it still give us room for the sidewalk and not have that steep the slope where they'll still be able to mow it and maintain it and take care of it, so.
When will they get this, if we approve this, when will they get this done?
I would look for it to be happening here within a few weeks.
Okay.
I think they
So-
still got equipment up there and stuff like that.
Okay,
If it does flood into their building, is that the city's fault, or is that the development's fault?
Good question. I mean, their building is low, and it's always, they've had problems in the past, it's just, we're trying to correct the problems that they have. We still, like I told Ryan, I said, we still can't guarantee you're not gonna get water, and I said, and they've had water in their building in the past, I said, we're just trying to do what we can to hopefully get rid of the problem, so. All the water that they're getting is basically from their property that's coming down that way, it's not coming, the roads, when they got flooding before, they were getting stuff to the north that was coming that way.
The roads should
It's
really
sweet
help a
there
little
now.
bit.
That'll
That
stop all
curb and
that.
gutter should probably
Yeah.
help that.
And once you get up to Knapp's Point, that area, that water should either go back to the south or go back to the east. So the only water that they're gonna have coming down their way is going to be on their property itself. And they could probably reshape their back lot a little bit to get rid of some more of it. But like I said, if you get 5-inch rain downpour, they're probably gonna get water.
I got a pile of dirt back there they should get rid of if they got water problems.
So, like I said, we just, after seeing it, it's just, they brought it to my attention, and I went up there and looked at it, and we discussed it, and I went back and talked to him and said, well, it's gonna cost the city $3,000 to have this moved. I said, are you guys gonna be okay with doing this, or are you gonna, are we gonna be good at this point? They thought that they'd be happy with that, but I told them, I said, it's not a guarantee you're not gonna get water.
Well, I mean, this will sound like a smart aleck comment, but how many sandbags will $3,000 buy? If there's no guarantee that this is gonna solve the problem, then why spend the money?
I mean, it'll help, definitely help the problem, but if you get that heavy rain, you're gonna get it.
Yeah, absolutely, I deal with it on my property all the time.
Is this something that should have been caught in the plans, you think?
I don't look at elevations, it's
Yeah.
not my forte,
Yeah, I hear you.
so I don't,
Yeah.
I look at water and sewer layouts, stuff like that.
I mean, I gotta believe when they built that building, they went off of Oaks, right? Cause, I mean, that was really the
There
only thing
wasn't
they could go off of,
Mhm.
Yeah,
so.
right.
Yeah, I mean, really, with 12th Street being in there, that, and the storm sewer, there's a huge, I mean, there's a big pond now on the corner of Oaks and 12th that'll catch a lot of water. To your point, like, we spend 3,000, they still get water. Are they gonna be calling you up? Hey, we still got water, or if we don't spend 3,000 and they get water, I don't know, it's,
They'll definitely call in.
that's what, and literally, that's what I'm saying, it sounds like a smart aleck comment, that $3,000 of sandbags is gonna keep water out of the business. And-
We're really only paying 300.
What's that?
We're really only paying 300.
Oh, that's a good point.
But that's a good point, yeah. Think about that.
All right, what do we think?
I'll make a motion to approve the change order number 5 to Alliance Construction for 3,000.
Second.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Mattson?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yep.
Warren?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Barrett?
Yes.
Jazz?
Yes.
All right, next up, review approved contract amendment for IDG for 12th and Oaks project for $53,845.50. Before we start talking about this, Teresa and I had a couple conversations. She did send this to our city attorney, Tom. He is recommending that we have further discussion or look by him and possibly discussion with IDG before we act on this. So I would ask that,
Motion to table.
Oh,
Next meeting.
I was getting excited.
and we can't discuss the table, so we'll vote. Jazz?
Yes.
Barrett?
Did we get a second?
Yeah.
Who was
I
it?
did.
Sorry.
Somebody did.
Keel, yes.
Horn, yes. Bowen, Mattson, yeah. Keep it young.
Yes.
Oh, hold up
Very
here.
chaotic.
What?
I didn't say-
Horn, Bowen,
I didn't,
Mattson.
I didn't say yes, I mean, I didn't say
Oh,
anything,
sorry.
you skipped, yeah.
Horn,
Yes.
you wanna say no?
You know, I wanna say, well, I wanna talk about it tonight, but well, I'll take the advice of I'm taking the advice of my legal counsel, yes.
Mattson,
Yes.
okay, thank you. All right, next up, discuss chamber director and economic developer director positions.
Plural.
Doesn't have to be.
Motion to table.
No. Or, are you for real, or is that?
Let's start to discuss.
Well, we put it on there because we had commented that we were going to discuss, and we are going to discuss some personnel discussion, if you will, in executive tonight regarding the chamber position, but I wanted to have it on the agenda in case there was any, because we said we would.
Yeah, we did.
That was one of the motions we.
was to review the job description descriptions, right, was the.
We are not gonna review the job descriptions at this point. We will probably have some discussion on a job description, but not at this time.
So I'm assuming everybody knows what has transpired the last couple of weeks with.
Lisa wasn't here, but she probably got caught up by
Read the
somebody.
minutes.
Yeah,
Okay, so, yeah, Amy's been terminated, but she has hence been contracted by the HADF to work
right.
for their director, so they have a director. Amy, working for him as of now. And then, of course, Wynn gave her notice, so her last, this week, you know, she will be finished as well.
Right.
So, have nobody in that position either. And I think we'll have some more discussion on that.
Yeah, we're gonna have some more discussion on that, but because it's personnel related, we're going to,
So do we wanna have discussion on, starting with sorry.
No, go ahead,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just confused.
I mean, I guess if I could just throw.
yep, go
Yeah,
ahead, fire away.
I know Teresa prepared, thank you for putting in that work, with the finances and all that, or in
Karen
Karen.
put together the, paperwork.
So, I know this is in our packet on the table, just kind of, you know, what has the taxpayers of this city done in terms of, you know, making it clear that, yeah, we are pro-economic development, and I think money talks, and you know, just over the years, and this is just over the last like 5 years, so if I take, I mean, this.
Almost 1.5 million.
Thank you, so it's almost, you know, the city, the taxpayers have invested just in the last 5 years, right around 1.5 million, so that's between the Envision, which that was 800,000, and then obviously operating expenses, and some of those amounts have changed throughout the years, but also, you know, you go back. Yeah, I mean, there's been a number of things that I think that the city has been very economic, pro-development. There's been some hiccups there in the past, but I would say that there's been a very good track record the last 5 years.
A track record of what? The city's
It's a
spending
track
money?
record of the city being pro-economic development.
Okay, all right.
And
And that's equated to a pile of money.
yeah, yep, so I'm making that conclusion based upon, based upon exactly that. I guess I gotta be careful with what I say, but not really. You know, I think the HADF is in a really good position. They've got 12th and Oaks. That was a really good partnership between the HADF and the city that just, I mean, so the citizens, like that project would have never happened. Well, first and foremost, if HADF didn't buy that land, but also the city is financing the road to go through that. So that development would have been probably darn near impossible for the economic development to finance that. So like that was a really good thing, a partnership in that context. So HADF is in a good financial position, or is in a good position to keep going with that. And so I just want to throw that out there and get some other council members or any citizens out there or anybody else that, what does it look like for the city of Hartford to move forward? That's the question here on the table. What does that look like? And I think I've done a lot, so what does it look like going forward? What is there to do? The HADF has a significant amount of property to the west of Swenson Park, that's about 140 acres, give or take. Obviously this development up there, once they sell all of that land, Lord willing, they're gonna be able to start developing that other piece of ground, Kid Wilder land. So I just wanna kind of start the conversation and see if anybody wants to hop in from there.
If I can just make one comment to add on to Sean and their position, their current net worth is $3.1 million.
Where are you getting that from?
From their IRS 990 form at the end of 2023. Their total assets were valued at $6.1 million. Their total liabilities were at 3.0, leaving a net asset or fund balance of 3.123,500. So they're in a good financial position.
agree.
which is great.
I would also say, I did some math here as well. To me, that 1.5 million, actually, if you encompass everything, like, you know, jamboree days, even the chamber, if you encompass everything there, to me, I kind of came up with 1.8 million. And then reference that with the two ways that a city makes money, property tax and sales tax, right? I came up with using 2019 as a baseline. So anything above that 2019 amount, I also came up with $1.8 million. So I guess the return on investment hasn't necessarily been there either, you know? But they are in a good position moving forward. So.
Truly, one could look at that and say, if the city would have kept their 1.8, we would have gained the 1.8, but we kept the 1.8, it's just a wash.
Yep.
To your point.
Yep. No, and that didn't account for, you know, what our growth rate was before 2019.
Yep.
Didn't account for, you know, those types of things, I guess, it's just raw numbers.
The good news is in the trading of those dollars, we now do have a very healthy Hartford area development foundation that's ready to, I haven't asked them, but I would assume that they're ready to blaze forward and
Hope so.
continue development.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would assume at some point there'll be some discussions with that group. Is that fair for me to say?
I think so.
The other thing I'd like to bring up and have you guys chime in, we've had a little discussion, and when I say we, I'll say Teresa and I, about the potential of putting together a press release, if you will. Travis brought it up to me and said, do we need to put something out there so, you know, the general public area knows what's going on? To Sean's point, that we're still in great shape here, we're still moving forward, we are still pro-economic development. This afternoon, we met with the folks from Sioux Metro Growth Alliance, they said the same thing, they said, you guys got this deal going. Keep it going, and basically what they came to offer was, anything we could do to help you, they're willing to help us.
Yep.
So, that was very positive.
I know Tony has something.
Arden, if I can shoehorn on to Ryan's comment, appreciate your analysis on that. The other, from the 990 form in 2019, their net worth was $31,000.
Yes, it's drastically changed, I noticed that.
So,
Correct.
there's a huge, they put themselves in a great position. What you're saying, Jake, is they're in a position financially to be able to make things happen. In
Right.
2019, they couldn't afford to pay attention.
Yeah, and they spent a lot of time talking about chickens and eggs, and now the reality is they just needed some money.
And they got it, now things are happening.
Correct. So, anyway, any other thoughts, comments?
Have we done a press release before or anything like that? I mean, is there somebody we can go to?
Like Arden said, SMGA said they
They will.
could help with.
They would
it.
help, they would
I
at
kinda
least,
drafted
yeah,
just some thoughts but we said we'd send it to them and they'd review it. Before we'd send anything out, I imagine we'd send it out
We'll
to the
run it to
council,
you
yeah,
guys.
run it through you
Right.
guys to
I would-
make sure that's the message we wanna be putting out.
I guess I don't know what we're going to say, but it might be good to have HADF at least on, I want it to be a positive
Yep.
message. So I'm not sure what kind of a press release we're gonna do. I guess I'll be interested to see what you're thinking, maybe I just don't
Right.
understand.
I don't know what I'm thinking either, to be honest, but,
Well, I mean, what I'm thinking is the city and the HADF haven't had an agreement since 2023. HADF has become a standalone organization, and we wish them well.
Yeah, you're doing awesome.
I was thinking a little more than that.
That sounds like a soft goodbye. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
It's a summary.
and really, and the city stands ready to, be a partner. I mean, I think that's the bottom
I
line.
would agree with that.
Yeah.
I
And
think-
depending too what happens with the chamber position, if, a press release saying, these positions are no longer under the city, they're gonna work for these entities.
Right,
city will continue to work together with them, we'll continue to promote economic development, the
Yep.
current businesses within the
Yep.
city,
Yep.
I mean, I think the worst thing is to draw attention to something that doesn't
You
need
don't need to
attention.
draw attention.
That's true, too.
I would agree with that too. That was, yeah,
Maybe the thing for this body to really think about is, Arden had said it multiple times, is that the current, structure wasn't working.
model.
That model didn't work. And so the question would be, what model would work? If they have their own, director, you know, that's their deal, maybe they decided that that model was gonna work for them. So then, the city of Hartford would be to determine if SNGA is our economic development director, so to speak, or if we need to hire someone to report directly to the city council on economic development. Those are the kinds of thoughts I have regarding that position.
And so I think the job description review is really needed, because that one we currently have is so intertwined with supporting HADF that I
Correct.
don't think it's appropriate.
Right. Yeah. And I also, and not that I'm trying to, I don't want this to sound like I'm kicking the can. I think we need to let a little time pass here and let things kind of simmer. Personally.
yeah, and I
I mean-
really think
I mean-
those, some discussions need to happen with the HDF.
Correct.
What is your plan going
Right.
forward, you know,
Right.
and does the city need to hire somebody else? And if we do, how does that work in conjunction with them? I mean, we don't wanna butt heads and, you know, lock horns and keep them fighting, you know, we
I
need
mean,
some
I wouldn't be in
cooperation.
favor of hiring anybody until we have a really clear picture of what that
Correct.
looks like. And
Right,
Like,
like I
as
said,
a,
maybe-
you know, GA is a good
Correct.
solution
And really, that's
maybe
part
for
of,
us.
that's part of the reason that they contacted
Yeah,
us. They
yeah,
wanted
they
to come
say,
out
we're
and
here
just
to
at
whatever you
least
need.
offer their assistance if we needed them for anything in the short
They
term.
noted that any RFIs that come through, you know, in the past, they would send them to Amy, but they can send them to us now, the
Right.
mayor, or whatnot. I mean, they will continue to keep the city in the loop and to, you know, any RFIs through them or through JOED. So I mean, we will continue to see that information and
Yeah.
continue to be in the loop with that.
Quick question, that land off of I-90, obviously that would be all mitigated, or where the ponds are. What, just a quick question, what's the timeline? So once we're done with those ponds, is that like a year project to get those things, what's that? Yeah, sorry, the lagoons,
Depends
just
on
out of
when you
curiosity.
wanna come up with 100 and some thousand or more.
What's that?
Depends on when you wanna spend the money to,
Well, I think we should be thinking
I
about
mean, as soon
budgeting for.
as we're up in line, them can go.
Do we
as soon
have an
as
do we have an engineer's cost to get those, is it remediated or
Yeah, it's in,
mitigated?
it's in the,
Yep, yep.
it's in the
It's in-
CIP,
yep.
yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
I think what was maybe missing from our packet was something Justin, he could put together, and that was the timeline of how we got to where we're at today. Like how the treatment discussion, the regionalization stuff,
Okay.
he had some homework to do, and he didn't show up for class tonight.
I know, he's on.
He's hunting.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'll make sure it's in the next council packet.
He's got a project he's working on for me too.
Excellent.
Remediation about 1.5 million.
the remediation for that is 1.5, I would love to
That's
see
the
if there's
engineer
any grants
estimate,
out
if the
there.
engineers are right.
I just wanna spark the, you know, get us thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have anything in budget for 2025, because we'll be getting the plan up and going. I mean,
Correct.
we have it slotted in the CIP for 2026. Now,
Okay.
whether we do it in 2026, that's gonna be up to council,
Correct.
like I said, decision.
And as far as timeline on actually doing the remediation, I don't anticipate it being more than 1 year, more than one construction season. So they essentially just have to drain the ponds,
Right.
dry it out, scrape it up and flatten it
And
out.
then that
And then
land is
we're-
ready to
yeah,
go
it's
ahead.
developable,
Then it's
Yep.
ready to
That's
sell.
developable.
Well, it'll be great garden plots.
Oh, that's,
Once we're up and running on our new facility, we'll start getting those ponds emptied as
Okay.
much as we can, you know. And
Yeah.
some
What
of
what
the
happens to those airlines and stuff like that, they just throw them away, is that kinda?
Yeah, we'll have to go in there and pull them all out of there and stuff and do it, and they can go out to landfill or something like that, so.
But we did, Craig and I discussed that a little bit, how we, you know, can we get have water run the other basically, we're gonna run the other direction when we get the new plant up, basically. Flip the valves and have everything come this way, rather than go toward the pond, basically. I guess that's the easiest way to explain it.
It sounds really expensive, but if there's 72 acres there, that's only $25,000 an acre. I gotta believe land along I-90 is worth more than $25,000 an acre, so
It'd be good.
spend money, make money.
That east end's not worth very much, probably just want to hang around.
It's a good spot for a shop.
Yeah, great.
Okay, so,
So let the shop deal go.
You take that
Wagner
1.8
City.
divided by
I think
50
we-
acres?
I think we've had that discussion. Alright. Anything else on this topic? Thank you all for your input. We'll do a little, talking and research on our press release before you guys
We'll
will
wait
all
to
see
do
it
anything
before,
until
right
you guys
before we
decide
hit
to move
send.
forward.
put some lipstick on that plate and send
Right,
it.
yep, right before I hit send, you guys will see it. So, how's that sound? All right, next up, discuss pay increase for the mayor. What the?
Yeah, you're so surprised.
Yeah.
So, is this any meeting, or is this, are we doing this specific to regionalization
So,
and economic development?
so the city's policy is, obviously you get your salary and then meeting pays, regular meetings, and any special meeting called. If you want pay for any meetings above and beyond that, the city council has to vote and give you extra pay for that. So the mayor, and I will say Arden attends a lot of meetings. With all this regionalization going on, he was attending, he's an ex officio of the AGM. SMGA, he goes to the mayor's meetings, he stays in the loop there, so he does attend a lot of meetings. I've gone through a few mayors, he by far is a very involved mayor and goes to a lot of meetings, so his regular salary probably doesn't cover any of his time. Not making much per hour, that's for sure. But city council, and you guys can decide if you want him to get paid for any regionalization meeting he goes to, if you want to get him paid for any SMGA meeting that he goes to, that's up to council's discretion.
Yeah, on that note, Amy was our SMGA.
Correct, we talked about that today.
Yeah.
I was listed as the,
As the alternate, and so
I am
he'll
gonna
start
go to the
rolling.
meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, so I think at a minimum, you should get paid for SMGA meetings and regionalization meetings, whether they're, published or unpublished. There's meetings that you attend that
Yep.
are coordination meetings with other communities.
Right.
They just have to be documented, I guess, would be the biggest thing. And I don't know, certainly doesn't need to become a micromanaging kind of a thing either. It's like maybe here are the meetings this month and the council looks at it, approves it, and moves on, sort of thing.
Yeah, some of those regionalization meetings and, are those always kind of scheduled? Cause sometimes they're kind of like these.
Yeah,
Informal type things where, hey, we just got this information, we need to
Have a meeting?
have a meeting, so.
I would say we'll have,
Whether there's an agenda or not, it's still a meeting.
I would say we'll have, yeah.
That is true.
I would say I'll have a better grasp. I'm anticipating after we have our meeting on the 5th of December.
I think it's really important too, right now, as we are kind of in this in-between
Yeah.
for economic development, that, if you're gonna attend more SMGA and different meetings for that purpose, I think that should be covered as well.
I'm just,
I hate to almost say this, but I'm not begging for the money. Just please understand that. But I will say, I do put in some time, so I'm.
I know, I wish you'd stop calling me all the time about it.
I'm just kidding.
I'm kidding.
Travis is gonna wanna get paid.
I'm next in line.
Yeah, he's next in line.
$35 a phone call.
Every
I'm
time
just
we get a
curious
phone call
about-
from the mayor,
I'm just curious, and I'm not worried about Arden, but if somebody else comes in, I'm just curious how we're going to
So that's
document.
how you do it. So you make a motion for Arden to receive pay for SMGA or regionalization, if the mayor position changes over, you guys will have to revisit it, or whoever's on the council at that time.
It doesn't affect the
Yeah.
base salary.
Right,
It's
exactly,
based
that's
on
why
the
we're
other
not
stuff.
changing the pay
Yeah.
or the salary, the pay per meeting or the salary, keeping that the same, because like you said, Arden's very involved, but the next, and I've been through this, and the next mayor may be totally off the grid, yeah, exactly, so. I mean, I
Tell
don't,
Teresa.
I mean, been there, buddy, you know,
I'm
So-
not extending the verbiage that says, related to meetings he attends on a regular basis. I mean, does that need to be in there? Like, he attends it, he gets paid. if he
yeah,
doesn't.
exactly, you guys can, like I
So I
said.
don't know why that, what that
Yeah.
means,
City of meetings, period,
on a regular basis.
that on a regular basis is.
Yeah.
It
Something
implies
like
a
the reorganization
scheduled
of SMG.
monthly
Yeah,
type
it
of
does
meeting.
imply that.
Not that if we call a meeting to talk about the Christmas float,
Yeah.
you're not gonna
Right.
get that, you're
Yeah.
not gonna get that, that's kind of, you know, the,
Well, that's a
distinction
good
there.
point too, what about in person versus on a phone, those types of things as well, you know?
He's
I
not
don't
looking
know
for
how
anything.
many
He said that,
meetings
so
you
why would we give him
have on the
something?
Yeah, I mean,
You don't have a lot of meetings on the phone.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't wanna
Some of
do,
you-
I think just making the motion towards Arden versus the mayor, I think is, like you said, the right way to go, so.
right.
Yeah. Now, the other part of the reporting, I mean, do you just wanna keep track?
I can give you
Just
guys a reporting, Teresa
A
will
month?
Teresa
You'll
knows
have to
just,
submit
I
what
think
you-
every time I'm going someplace, you know that I'm going, so,
Perfect.
I mean, there will be record of what I'm doing. I typically either
I-
give you guys a
I know when all this and.
I'm gonna, yeah,
meetings are.
I'm gonna give you guys a report, or you guys are gonna know.
Yeah, they'll have to have something.
And I really don't know what this regionalization deal's gonna be, but it could, I have a feeling it's going to be,
Push it forward,
it's gonna be
take more
pretty
meetings.
intensive to get this thing rolling.
Yeah.
I agree.
So,
That's way cheaper than hiring an attorney to represent us.
correct. I do stay at Holiday Inn Expresses, so
High roller, man.
that's an old joke,
Okay.
Pretty smart.
pretty smart.
So, yeah, I mean, so SMGA regionalization, we don't know where we stand on the HADF. You were
Yeah.
attending those pro
Right.
bono previously,
It would just
Correct.
say economic development purposes.
economic development purposes.
Yeah, and I will say, Teresa and I had this discussion today about economic development, how are we gonna do this? Because it just so happens this week, I have already had one person contact me.
Yeah.
So,
Well, like
I
you
know
said,
it's
he's
going,
the,
I know it's going to happen.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know when, but I know it's gonna happen, because when I got the call this week, I thought, I guess they're. And
So how-
one of our other businessmen told this person to call me, so. Anyway,
I make a motion to increase or to implement meeting pay for Arden, as he attends regionalization and economic development meetings on behalf of the city.
Second.
At, do I have to do the rate?
Yeah, it was a second rate, right?
That was a long, sorry, I should have gotten that all out. At $75 per meeting.
Second.
okay, any other discussion? Oh, this would be a good time for you guys to go 3-3. No way, I can't vote, because it's money.
If this gets out of hand, Arden will either offer you employment or.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can,
Yeah, do we need a second?
all it
motion?
takes is a motion to take it away as well, so.
Right.
You gotta remember that.
See,
It takes a motion.
So you guys wanna put it on the books right now, so it can just be
Yeah.
kicked in at any time?
Just
Keep that in mind.
Maybe
Maybe your checks and balance there.
Yeah, that's funny.
I don't think it's gonna be, I don't think it's gonna be abused, let's just say that. So, all right, anything else? Any other discussion?
Yeah, that's per meeting, not per hour, so.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Typo, strike two.
All right, we'll vote. Jake,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes,
Sean,
Yep.
Cindy.
Yes.
first name's that time.
Well, you know, I
We don't want him to quit, cause then we're gonna have to do
and we're gonna move people up. All right, last item here before we move on is, I asked Teresa to put this on, typically we had a float last year, Cindy was our float chairman.
Wow.
Master.
You didn't know that you were the float chairman.
I didn't know I had a title.
Well,
Don't expect to get paid for it.
$75 per event.
boy, I tell you, this is not, I probably shouldn't even have, you guys are gonna kill me with this, I'm just afraid of it.
We're gonna expect results,
I
that's
know.
for sure.
I know. Believe me.
Looking for tomorrow,
With that.
So what is the theme this year, music?
Music. I had a great idea that we should all, stand on there and sing our favorite Christmas carols all the way down Main Street.
Everybody sing their individual
Simultaneously?
favorites.
Everybody, yeah, each of us sing one all at the same time. I think that'd be great.
Much like a city council meeting, it's a little chaos.
Chaotic.
Like the Will Ferrell SNL sketch when he's going around in a circle, it's going too fast. You remember that?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that, I'm sure it's funny.
So,
You gotta see it.
I believe.
You gotta see it. yeah.
did we use your trailer last year?
Yeah, we did.
Can we?
Still available for a small fee.
Okay. So use Travis's trailer. Oh man, we started it. That's balls.
I will be out of town, so
What?
vacation.
We have a pickup in the trailer. Do a couple of you I'd like to have a couple of you take charge of this and organize the rest of us.
What date is that again?
1st of December.
Okay, that's fine.
Sunday, December 1st?
Yeah,
That's the first Sunday in December.
That's-
it is.
Could you just, I don't know, does anybody have any ideas? A magical
Musical Christmas. Right? Cindy, would you like to lead it again?
No, but sure.
All right, who would like to be Cindy's co-chair?
I'll do it.
Okay, Cindy and Ryan, you're in charge.
We're about to get creative, Ryan.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
let us know what we need
always
to do.
creative, yeah, so.
All right?
Anyone do Christmas karaoke?
I would like to do that. They do that in all the Hallmark movies.
Motion to move to executive
Session.
for
Personnel.
Second.
Personnel, and do we need anything else, Jason? Not really, legal. Personnel.
Second.
And you're, not you, Tony, I'm not pointing at you. I'm
Well,
pointing at
see,
Scott.
We should probably vote on that.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, sorry.
You're good.
All right, do we have any motions from the council?
Like to make a motion to provide a $300 cash Christmas bonus to year-round city employees.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Jazz?
Yes.
Barons?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes,
Bullen?
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Anything else?
motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys.